out there, airstrips for jets and helicopters, and mess them up, they can't fly. You can't blow up a helicopter, blow up and just land on, or the airplane can't move, right? Blow holes in concrete, for instance, big tunnel work and stuff like that, blow holes in things. We're going to show you how to make unconventional shape charges. Homemade shape charges. Sergeant Ruth's got a class on that. We'll show you how to make shape charges small enough it's going to weigh a pound or 2 pounds that you can walk upside of a fuel tank someplace if you have to sneak in, plant it on the side of a fuel tank, and end up fuel dump ends up going up. Okay? Very small. But you can do the job that can if it's made the right way. We'll show you how to do it today. Shape charges. Claymores. How many people work with claymores out here? Okay, claymore mine. We've got a whole bunch of these nasty boogers out here, and you're all going to be making your own set of these up, all right? The military claymore. We're also going to show you how to make an improvised claymore. Doesn't cost as much, works a lot better than this thing does. Okay, dynamite. We're going to be working with military dynamite out here. We don't use this a whole lot anymore. They don't use this in the system a whole lot anymore. It's kind of going out. So they should send it down to us and let's blow it up. It's not one of the better things. Does the job, but it's not as good as C4, right? Good old plastic explosive. We got tons of this stuff out here today. You're going to be making all these projects. This is probably one of the few schools in the Army where you're actually going to be doing it. A lot of the places you go, you learn this stuff, they have it made up for you. They hand you the block, they hand you the fuse, you put the cap on it, you stick it in there, walk it down range, pull the fuse igniter, walk back to the bunker, count 10, and listen to it go off, okay? You're going to be making all these different charges I'm talking about today. You yourself, not somebody else. You're going to learn how to do it. That's why this school's kind of neat out here. Don't play such a big deal. Time fuse. We'll be working with time fuse out here. Remember one thing about time fuse. It's green.
Tell me you haven't got two.
Skin fuse with yellow markings on it, alright? This is time fuse. That's yellow markings on it. When you get to the class, Sergeant LaRue, Sergeant Graham, Sergeant Matt's going to teach you how to time it, how to use it. Remember something else here. We're going to be using net cord out here too. Now the distinct difference in this is what? The yellow marking. If you're out here, remember when you're messing with this stuff, cutting it up, because you're going to be doing it, you make sure you know what you got in your hands, okay? It'll all be checked 2 or 3 times by the instructor to make sure it's good to go, but you're going to be the ones making them, so make sure you know what you're using out there, alright? Okay, det cord. Anybody know how fast det cord turns? 1,000 feet per second. It's pretty quick, eh? Alright, it's real good stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of basic things out here. We're going to look for electrical circuits, non-electrical circuits. You're going to see a setup. What you saw out there with a flame, there were 6 cans of fuel out there. 6 2-gallon cans of fuel. They all went off at once. They were daisy chained in with det cord, alright? Moves so fast you can't tell one explosion from another, okay? 24,000 feet per second. Anybody got a stopwatch out here? Okay. Sergeant LaRue is standing over here. He's got a 2-minute time fuse on this. You can see the white ribbons hanging across the impact area, right? Det cord is strung from that tree across. Everybody's got to watch how long it's going to go across. Somebody last class took a picture. They said they got it on film. I don't know. One of those bathrooms. in that.
Right.
It moves quick, man. The stuff you're going to be working with out here. You got to watch what you're doing, all right? One other thing we're going to show you how to do out here, we're going to show you how to make what they call platter charges. It's a really handy item to have out there, especially if you want to take out trains, you want to take out fuel dumps, things like this, okay? Platter charge. Sergeant Graham is going to teach you how to do this. You can take a round piece of steel, some of them this big, some of them smaller, put equal weight of C4 on it, prime it. With a charge like this, about this size, if you use this and you set it the right distance with a standoff from a locomotive engine on a train, it'll go clean through that block there. Okay? And if you don't believe it, you got that $72,000 crane down there that you'll be able to do it and send it right through there. Okay? Very inexpensive, lightweight, move up, hang it on a fence or something, and go right to your goddamn power plant. Take out a fuel dump in a heartbeat. Okay? Don't worry about that. Cratering charges. We don't have any military cratering charges out here, but that's okay, because every country you go to, you can get fertilizer. Whether it's bags, made by companies, or whether you have to go out some farmer's field and watch that smoky shit out there for manure, smoke, and make your own fertilizer. So you got to take a 66-pound of fertilizer, 1/2 gallon of diesel fuel, quarter stick of C4, prime it, use it, put it out there, and that thing will make a hole big enough in the ground to use parts to support those cheap. Alright? And it only costs, that bag right there costs $7. What about a C4 is probably about $6. Probably about 99 cents. Tag, for under about $25, you can use it for one of the military cratering charges, probably approximately $300. It does a whole lot better job. Okay? And at the end of the day, Sergeant James is going to wow anybody by using 200 pounds of that crap. It's going to either, that $72,000 crane is going to be left in the range where it's going to be very expensive. On that one. The last 4 classes we've had out here, we made a hole big enough last time to put it in the tank. You don't believe it, wait till you class. Alright, the other thing we're going to talk about is calcium carbide. We've got a chemical out here. It's a dirty trick type chemical. You might use it sometimes. You can start fires with it. You can start set off explosives with it. You can make a bomb out of it. Walk into some place and clear out a whole for your McDonald's if you want. Don't go back to your hometown and do this shit. Okay? I don't want letters out here because somebody got caught throwing some chips and dumpster in college and wiped out the whole goddamn record. Just by the snow. All it is water, calcium carbide. About this is, with any chemical, especially water or soda, you can make it go up more and more and more. Alright? All it is a chemical reaction. If you got to piss real bad, you don't have any water to piss on it. It'll go up. And depending on what you drank the night before, depends on how fast it goes up. Okay? Sergeant LaRue will be teaching you about that, calcium carbide. All you have to do is have a liquid, calcium carbide lighted, or liquid you put on it, the better it's burning. I'm not going to get into it out here, that's our LaRue's class. Explain it something. Keep on edge. You'll be learning all this stuff. Okay, there's a couple other things you're going to learn to use out here, but they're too heavy, you'll be getting them to your class. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about safety. At all times, like I said, listen to your instructor. You know what they're doing out here. They've been doing it for a long time. Listen up, take notes, whatever you got to do. If you have any doubts about anything around you, make sure you bring it to the attention of one of the instructors, okay? If you see anything that you think is unsafe, don't hesitate to stop it, all right? Let us know. We're not perfect. We try to be, especially on a demo range, but there's so much going on that if you see something, stop everything. We'll take care of it, all right? If you think it's unsafe, don't worry about it. Ask us. We'll check it out, all right? There shouldn't be. We've never had a problem on this range. Don't plan on having one now. Safety is everybody's responsibility, okay? I want to show you a little demonstration. We're going to be using blasting caps out here, electric and non-electric blasting caps, okay? The first one is I want to show you a non-electric blasting cap, what it will do to 2 helmets. Blasting caps, you're going to go to different spools are very unstable. You got to take care of them. You got to walk with them. You can't be throwing them around your buddies or dropping them. Just go off. You watch this helmet out there, the green one out there, it's got a plastic cap in between two helmets, and we'll show you what will happen. Imagine if this was in your hand and you were fucking around. You might want to get ready to get this helmet. Sometimes it goes with in here. Just a plastic cap, non-electric plastic cap. Steel helmet. How much time is it?
Get a minute on that one?
2 minutes on it?
Real calculated sport. Non-electric plastic cap. Seen them, gonna handle them out here today. Be careful with them. Don't be playing around with them. That goes off in your hand. It's gonna look a lot more than you might have it right there. The next one you're gonna see is an electric plastic cap. Fire in the hole, fire in the hole, fire in the hole.
That's what an electric plastic cap is in your hand. At all times, if you're out here handling these electric plastic caps, especially today because of the way the weather is, the only time those electric plastic caps will be unshunted is when they'll be ready to hook into their firing devices, all right? They will always stay shunted. The instructor will make sure of that. If you've got one in your hand, don't be pulling the shunt apart. Because the kind of air, static electricity will set electrical plastic caps off. As long as those wires are shunted together, you'll be able to go through. You can't have it. It won't go off, okay? Starting we'll bring the helmets up here. You can look at them. Any questions about what it comes to? Anybody can do this class before? Okay, this is electric, that's non-electric, right? Don't do that to that helmet, it's definitely fucking you up. Be careful with yourself. Handle it with extreme caution. Respect what you got out there in your hands, all right? Like I said, you're going to be doing the work on these things. We're not going to be doing it. We're going to show you, we're going to teach you how to do it. You get to do it yourself. You need to know how to do it. You're the one that's got to do it out in the real world. So why let us do it so you just blow it up, okay? That's what this class is all about. The last thing I want to show you, the C4 time fuse and igniter all put together. Got my Sergeant Graham, you want to bring that down here? Got a whole block of C4 put together, and this is what it's supposed to look like. Thank you, Sergeant This is the C4 you're going to be working with. Okay, maybe you'll be working with it in different shapes and what you're going to be making. This is what it basically looks like when it's rigged with your time fuse and your igniter, okay? We'll show you what this looks like. How long of a fuse you put on this? 2 minutes? Put about a 2-minute fuse on here. Show you how these operate. What? Okay, another thing about this class too. When you go down here with these igniters, you pull these safety pins out, make sure one of the instructors is. Okay, we have to turn these things down. Not the only thing. Alright, this is C4, your time fuse and your igniter. You gotta pull these things real hard, so you hear it pop, okay? Once this pop, what it's done is lit the end of this time fuse inside of it. So it'll start moving along one way down here, black powder. And it'll come inside, set off the cap will set off the C4. The reason I want to do this, I want to explain something to you. If you see something out here burning like this, where you see this smoke, that's not where it's burning. It's actually burning up here probably you can actually see it up here. It's about 2 or 3 inches ahead of the smoke, all right? When you see it burning down here, don't let it fool you. This thing's cooking yet.
Might want to throw that down range.
I'm going to. Just back off. So wait. Yeah. Hit that pencil. Go. Good. All right. Now see, it's up to about here right now, okay? So we got to get rid of this. How many people have actually made these and used them before? How many people have used these before? Okay? Anybody never seen one of these before? Okay. Last time I did this, I made an air burst, okay? Let's see if we can get an air burst. Anybody want to see this before I throw it away? Why don't you guys look at it back here? Hurry up! You gotta watch this shit, man. It's deadly.
He's dropping out.
Alright, anybody got any questions on what we covered? You will live through today. Yes, sir. Listen up. Be serious about what I'm saying, Andrew. Everybody think safety, okay? If you see things you don't think you trust, you don't like, something you got somebody else might be doing, let us know. We'll take care of it. We'll check it out, all right? Let's be safe out here. Let's learn something. Let's listen up to the instructors and learn something, so let's have a good time, okay? Like I said, you may never get another chance to do this again, whether before you deploy or maybe in your entire military career. You're going to be doing a lot of stuff out here people don't ever get to do in the military to work at explosives, all right? Okay, this time fall out back in formation. We'll break it down and get this stuff underway.
What's that brown patch?
Okay, there's this young stud, kind of like Sergeant LaRue here. About the same age, same height and everything. And he's walking around with this hump on his shoulder. Big, huge fucking hump. And all his buddies are giving him a bad time, and society's giving him a bad time. And finally, one buddy says, "Man, you have to go have that thing checked out." And Sergeant LaRue says, "Well, I kind of think I know what's wrong with it, but I really don't know." He says, "Well, you better go have it checked out with all this AIDS stuff going on and everything." So he goes in and makes a appointment with a specialist. And he goes to the doctor's office. It just happens to be a female specialist. 1 out of a million shot. And he gets in there, they talk back and forth a little bit, and she says, "Well, let's take a look at that hump. Let's take all your clothes off." So Sergeant LaRue takes off all his clothes. Big, huge, monstrous cock comes out. I mean, the thing is huge. Okay, just huge. God, and she jumps back and looks at that, and she's admiring that. She goes, "Man, that's pretty impressive," she says. He goes, kind of blushing a little bit. And she goes, "You don't mind if I touch that, do you?" "No, you can go ahead and touch that." So she sits and fondles it for about 15, 20 minutes. She's getting kind of excited and everything. And she's going, that's pretty impressive again. She's going, And she goes, "You don't mind if I kiss that, do you?" He goes, "No, you can kiss it, but don't blow on it. That's how I get the hump on my back."
Okay. Time to pass this around. First, before I do, what's the difference between dead cord and time fuse? Yellow band. What else?
Dead cord goes up.
Dead cord.
Tell me the physical difference. Dead cord is white inside. What's in it?
Bomb.
PET. All right. What is PET? Main ingredient C4, right? What's inside time fuse?
Powder.
Black powder. One of the ways to check, if you can't see any yellow markings on it, dead cord is white, time fuse is dark gray, okay, or black. All right. How about nighttime? How are we going to check? Yeah, nothing really comes out either one. No powder comes out of this. Smell? What's it smell like? What's this one smell like?
Powder.
Time fuse. Smells like powder, gunpowder. I'll pass this around. You can smell it a little bit. What's this smell like? It has a little bit of an almond smell to it. Okay? It's really hard to distinguish, but it does have a little bit of a smell. It smells a lot different than the gunpowder one does, all right, than the time fuse does. How about taste? There's a big difference in the taste. If you want to taste it as they're passing around, just touch it to your tongue, you'll be able to taste the difference. All right? Go ahead and pass this through. First thing we're going to get covered is how to prime a block of C4. You'll have an M60 fuse igniter. You'll have a blasting cap, a block of C4, some time fuse, and a universal crimping tool. Okay? Tool has a screwdriver on one of the handle ends. It has a punch on the other end. This is what you'll make your cap well with. It has two set of crimpers on it. Excuse me, two different teeth on the plier part itself. One is a crimper and one is a cutter. You see when I close it, the top one doesn't close all the way, right? That is the crimper. The second one down closes all the way. That is the cutter. Don't get it confused when you're crimping your blasting cap on. Start off with a time fuse. We get a new roll of time fuse or we get a roll of time fuse. What's the first thing we're going to do to it?
Inspect it.
Inspect it for what?
Make sure it's got the old band. Make sure it's time to well.
Make sure it's time fuse. You're going to check it. Make sure there's no splits in it. Make sure it's not wet. Okay. Moisture will seep into this though, correct? You get it? First thing you're going to do is cut off 6 inches. Okay. Most of the moisture is going to collect in that first 6 inches. So we cut that off and then we're going to start fresh. What do we need to do? Time it. Why? Find out what the burning rate is. How far apart are the yellow bands on this time fuse? Okay, a lot of people say a foot, but it's 18 inches. How do we go ahead and find out how fast this burns? Someone walk me through it. Okay. What do we burn? Yellow band to yellow band? Okay, will we get a real accurate reading that way? How about if we burn 3 feet of it, divided by 3, then we have a little better average of it, right? So that's what we're going to do. Cut off 36 inches of it. Again, Sergeant told you to save this, give it to one of the instructors, correct? I'll put it in my pocket, give it to him later. To use the M60 fuse igniter, see it has 2 ends. One end has a pull ring on it, the other end has a cap with a shipping plug in the end of it. Give that cap a turn, half a turn to a full turn, don't unscrew it all the way. Then grab a hold of the shipping plug, pull it out, and discard it. Okay? Now you're going to take your time fuse and put it right in where the shipping plug is. It'll go in about 3/4 of an inch. Just press it in until it stops and tighten the cap back up. That's all there is to putting the fuse igniter onto it. Then we're going to take and we're going to... Someone going to stopwatch?
Yeah, I got it now.
Okay, you get it ready?
Yeah.
I want to start this. All I have to do is pull out on the plunger. All right, pull hard. Notice I just pulled and nothing happened. If that happens to you today, all you do is push it back in and pull it again. You'll see smoke once it's lit. Okay. All you have to do now is set it down. When you see the sparks come out the other end, stop your watch.
Once you start it, can you stop that?
Can I stop this?
Cut it.
Cut it.
Okay, will you stop
Yeah. You may be able to stomp on it. Cut it is the only sure way of stopping it. Like Sergeant Nola says, told you up front there, don't think where you see the smoke is where the fuse is actually burning to. Right? The fuse is actually burning all the way up in here right now. You can see it's bubbling up a little bit.
Use those once, right?
Yes, one time. There's a bunch of different uses for it, which we'll get into a little bit later on today, using them as sighting devices and stuff. Sergeant Graham will get into that. But as a fuse igniter, it's only good one time. If the ends are sealed, okay? You'll see today, we're going to double prime almost everything today because of the moisture in the air. If I leave this set out here for about 10 minutes or so, the end will be no good. I can't say will not. The chances are that it'll be no good. It'll suck up that much moisture that quick. Then when you pull your fuse igniter, it doesn't go off. We have to take time out there to cut it, put a new fuse igniter on. Cigarette lighter, I'll get to that in 2 minutes also. The thought.
2 minutes and 1 second.
2 minutes and 1 second for 3 feet. Okay. You would go with 4 feet today. Okay. For all your charges, you'll go with 4 feet.
And then can you get different speed rates for fuse? Or they all come in one speed?
It's all the same speed, but it does vary. Okay. That's why you check every roll that you have, because it does vary from lot to lot. Usually one roll is pretty consistent all the way through, but lots vary a lot. What were we getting last time? We're getting 45 seconds per foot. Okay, and this time here, well, we get just about 45 seconds, 40 seconds per foot on this. Right? So it's pretty much the same.
You can't get any other fuse making those
No, you just shorten the fuse. Okay? Who's got a cigarette lighter? Better be a good one. One of these fucking little Ricky.
82nd Airborne.
82nd Airborne.
He's light. Light him.
All right.
Light him.
You have to cover it up. It does light, but it's kind of hard to light. You put the lighter on the end of it. Okay, and it starts up. A little harder.
You want me to love your service.
Okay. Now the other portion of this, the primer block of C4. All you have to do to blow this up is stick a blasting cap inside of it. Okay. That's what we use, the pointed all portion of our universal crimping tool. So you can put it in the end, just stick it in. May have to twist it around a little bit here. And make a hole all the way till it comes up to the flat portion. Pull your tool out. Don't bend it from side to side and make it any bigger. It doesn't need to be. This is the exact size of a blasting cap. Just stick it in and you're done with this.
If you don't have one of them tools, what's the appropriate depth to go about?
About 2.5 inches. Right? If you can get your entire blasting cap into the C4, then you're that much better off. Right? That way you're pretty much guaranteed positive detonation. It doesn't have to be all the way in. This is how you will carry a blasting cap today. You have the open portion down and hold it in your middle finger and your thumb. When you get a blasting cap, you get ready to put your time fuse on it. You're going to hold it out to the side and tap on it twice or 3 times, whatever you like. What you're doing here is trying to dislodge any foreign particles that may be in there. Take your time fuse, place it inside of it, and push it all the way in. It goes in about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Then kind of hold it like this to keep it from coming all the way back out or coming any part back out. Which side do we use? Crimper, the top one, right? Place it on there from 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch from the base of your blasting cap. As you see, it's just about the thickness of the one side of your crimping pliers. Right? Hold it out to the side and squeeze the plier together till it stops. Take the crimper off and it's crimped on there. Right? What that does, that keeps it from pulling back out after you set your charge. You could, if you didn't have crimping pliers, just put it on there, put a piece of tape around it, anything to hold it in place. Next thing you have to do, place your blasting cap down inside the well, push it in until it stops. You can pinch the C4 up around it if you'd like. If you have some Vaseline, you can pack Vaseline around it. That'll try to keep it a little bit waterproof. Any questions? You notice the one Sergeant Nola had up there today? the time fuse was wrapped back around it like this, right? And taped to the block of C4. Why did he do that? Make it more secure. Okay. He's trying to eliminate every possible opportunity for this blasting cap to come out of this charge. Okay. You don't want that to happen. Once you set a charge, you want to be sure in your mind that nothing's going to happen to it unless somebody tampers with it. Okay. Eliminate all the things that can go wrong. You know, Murphy's Law. The blasting caps, I don't know, they're relatively stable. Okay. It takes quite a bit of jarring to set it off, but still be careful with them. Today, when you're working with them out here, the blasting caps, you see the white coated off area over there. That's where all the blasting caps are kept. All the explosives are kept on the back of the deuce and a half. The man carrying the blasting cap will not carry the explosives. Okay, we're just trying to eliminate the opportunities for someone to really get hurt bad. You saw what it does to a steel pot. Did you all see that ammo can that was in front of where you were sitting? That was all bent up. That's what a blasting cap does to an ammo can. All right, it's a little bit more impressive on the ammo can than it is the steel pot. It'll take your hand off, man. Be careful with it.
What's the difference between those and the ones that we use in our fake grenades?
These are a lot more powerful. Electric blasting cap.
How can you tell the difference between those power and electric actually? You got to know from what you get, where you get them, or?
Yeah, they're not marked in any way. Like a lot of civilian blasting caps have yellow, red, and blue paint rings on it. You know, right? And it determines what the delay is on them. Okay. Standard military electric blasting cap looks the same thing. Looks just like a non-electric, only it has wires protruding from it. Basically the same, yes. And you can use these for the flame mode. You notice that the wires are hooked together by a little washer. It's called being shunted together. What does that do? It prevents static electricity from entering the lines. Right? If these wires are unhooked, static electricity enters the line, and you happen to touch them together, it can set off the cap. So you need to be conscious whenever you're working with electrical blasting cap to have all your lines hooked together until you're ready to hook your blasting machine up to them. Okay? Who's got a knife? Keep it. Thank you. I appreciate that. What's it take to set off C4?
Heat and pressure.
Heat and pressure. Fire and pressure. Can I burn C4?
Yes.
Without a problem?
Yep.
Oh,
Easy, John.
don't impact it all.
Start jumping on it.
See how hot it burns.
Branch.
Okay? It's perfectly safe, stable. But what's it do? Puts out the toxic fume, right? You have water here, Sergeant Matthews? I will get into the calcium.
They saw it. They saw it.
What can we use the calcium carbide for? Okay, as an incendiary device, right? How can we put that in a container to make it work without us being there? Any ideas on it?
Mix water with it at bomb bag, and then always has it.
Okay, but then you have to be there, right? I take a part of the lid, tape it in with 100-mile-an-hour tape, put your calcium on one side, your carbide on one side, your water or your fluid on the other side, and just have it sitting down. Right? If someone tampers with it, then the two mix together, but now you need something to create a spark, right? What can we use for that? Okay, like a clothespin with a match between it so when it pulls out. How about electricity? 9-volt battery with what?
Mercury switch should work. All kind of
Okay, we don't really have too many mercury switches that we can carry with us. Has everybody seen I should have brought one out here. Take a clothespin, put one lead on one side of it, a positive lead on one side, a negative lead on the other, and then you put a little piece of cardboard between them, and that's what your tripwire is hooked on. Right? When you pull the piece of cardboard out, it makes contact, and then it starts whatever you want on fire. Steel wool. Okay, if you hooked the steel wool up in the series there, and had the cardboard between it, when a positive and negative touch, a 9-volt battery would start that steel wool on fire. Right? Then you have the combustible gases forming and the spark from the steel wool, and it'll start burning. That's just one way. How about gasoline? How can we make gasoline explode? Okay, Molotov cocktails, yes. What can we mix with gasoline? Okay, you don't know what a Molotov cocktail is? Put gasoline in a bottle, put a wick on it, okay, and when it hits, it breaks. That's right. All right, and it doesn't blow up like it does in the movies, okay? But it's an incendiary device that makes fire because the gasoline spreads out. Everybody heard about mixing Drano with gasoline? Okay. It's pretty hard to do on the type of vehicles that we have now. They all have like unleaded gasoline, so it has a small nozzle. Or in most vehicles have the anti-siphoning devices in the gas tank, so you can't stick a hose down and siphon it out. But the military vehicles, it'll still work on. Take a ping pong ball, cut a little hole in it, pour Drano in it, put a piece of cellophane tape over the hole in the ping pong ball, and drop it down inside the gas tank. Right? When the ping pong ball starts to dissolve, the Drano will mix with the gasoline, and it'll explode. Okay. You're gonna learn. Excuse me. Chemical reaction in the fire just starts. You're gonna learn a lot of stuff out here today, man. It needs to stay here. Don't go back to the farm and try blowing up some fertilizer and blowing up the old John Deere tractor out back.
Downtown Minneapolis.
All right, well, we're gonna. Excuse me. Once the gasoline hits the Drano, yes. Okay. The stuff that we're going to teach you out here today for improvised munitions, you'll learn how to make a field expedient, field expedient shape charge, a field expedient grape shot, which is your claymore, and a field expedient platter charge. You'll also learn at the next class field expedient cratering charges with the fertilizer. You all set?
Takes about 5 minutes, man. Drink some water. You got about 5 minutes if you want to smoke. Yep. Okay, men. My class is on grape shot charge, or simply a immediate claymore mine. Okay, it's real simple to make, and it does real good damage to those personnel that you don't like, the bad guys. Okay? I got a drawing up here. I'll explain this. Basically, I'm going to talk you through. It's real easy to make. You just need to grab or get some kind of a container to keep your stuff in. I'm going to use a number 10 can. That's what we use today. Okay, whoever's with me, we'll make 4 of these. All right? All you do, get some type of container, number 10 can. Then obviously you need some kind of explosive. Obviously we're going to use C4. Okay? The ideal formula for this, a lot of formulas are basically 1-to-1 or whatever. The ideal formula is a quarter a weight of explosives for the weight of shrapnel. Everybody understand what I'm saying there? Okay, that's the ideal situation. For here, we're going to use P for plenty. Okay? The more explosive, okay, as much as you get in here, we'll have at least a pound of explosive in there. And then all this stuff you can put inside. Okay? To make this, you take your explosive, put it in there, C4 you can mold. Okay? If it's nice out dry, it's easy, like today, have no problem molding it. Put it in the back of your can. Okay? Or the number 10 can. Have a little more in the center. If you're going to take your blasting cap, put it in the direct middle center of your can. Okay? Everybody follow what I'm saying? So have a little more C4 in the center there where your cap's going to go. Okay, you'll have plenty, so don't worry about it. Okay. Then what you need to do, you need to take some kind of buffer material. What could you use for buffer material? Rags, leaves, anything. All you're doing here is you want to get something between your explosive and the shrapnel that you're putting inside. So when the shrapnel blows, it'll push it out instead of grabbing it.
Everybody follow what I'm saying? Basically, it's going to grab it anyway and throw it out, but you're going to give it a little chance, okay, to throw it out there. Okay. So then you put your buffer material. You don't need very much of that, just enough to put some space between your explosive and whatever you're throwing out. Okay. Then you take your shrapnel. In this case today, I got a whole 1,038 brass. Okay, that's what we used last time. Here's one little example. Last time, everybody see that brass in that log? Okay, that's just one little tiny example. We got a bunch of cans down there that don't have scratches on them. After you're done, they'll have 1,000,000 holes in them. Okay, that's what happened last time. You'll see this anyway. Then just stuff it full. You can use glass, M60 links work real well. Glass, nails, brass, rocks, whatever you got. Put inside it. Fill it full. Okay, because the more stuff you got in here, the more stuff you're going to send down range at those bad guys. Then just take some tape or whatever you got. You guys did last time. Just took a piece of cloth, put it over the top, then taped it down. Just something so you can hold the stuff in there. So if you walk, it don't fall out. Everybody follow me? That's all the tape or the cloth for, just to hold it in. Right? So again, take your explosive, put it in, form it in there, have it build up in the center where your blasting cap goes. Put some buffer material on it, leaves or rags or whatever you got, and fill it full of whatever you're going to throw down range. Grass, glass, brass, or M60 links. Okay? Then, put your blasting cap in. We're going to double prime ours. Okay, everybody's probably going to mostly double prime all their stuff out here. Maybe not, but we'll double prime whoever's with me. Basically, you want the cap to go in middle center. Just off center them a little bit. Everybody follow what I'm saying? Okay, and put 2 caps in there. Make holes in the cans, then take your crimpers and, make holes in the C4 and you put your caps right in there. Obviously with the time fuse and the M60 igniter. Okay? And save a little C4 for the end, so you can put the C4 a little bit on the back here. Obviously to tap it in case the cap don't go all the way in. Alright? Tape it up, then to aim it, Sergeant Graham will probably show you a thing on the M60 igniter, but all you have to do is basically eyeball it. Okay, get direct center. You can have someone get up there on the road or whatever. You can line them up on the road just like claymores. You can hang them in the tree. Another good way to make sure your stuff comes out, everybody knows what tamping is. Like you set it down on the ground, dig holes, as you guys did last time, dig holes all around it just so this end's safer. So the explosive and the stuff is going to go the easiest route. Okay, so there's nothing in front of it here except for that little piece of cloth or tape. But you've got a whole bunch of dirt behind it here. The easiest route is for the stuff to come out this way. Okay, so you can do that. You can do that. You can do that down there.
How much of it can access shrapnel?
What's that?
How much of it can access shrapnel? All of it?
It'll blow up. It ain't gonna come and stay like that. We're gonna have 2 pounds of C4 in each one of these.
You say if you use a plastic lid to go over it?
Sure. Just something that'll hold it. So if you're carrying it, accidentally turn it upside down, it won't come up. That might not hold it. Well, I'd tape it a little bit extra too. But that's fine. Yeah. Like I say, anything out here, man, your mind's a limit.
What's the reason for the double prime?
That's last time, or it was last year, it was real wintry and cold and wet, and some of the fuses or whatever got wet. So I like double prime anyway. It's another assurance factor that your stuff's gonna blow. Okay. If you got enough stuff to do it, go ahead and double prime your stuff. Because you don't want it. The worst thing you can hear is you just set it for 2 minutes, 4 minutes gone by, and ain't nothing gone off. So now you got to go down and check your shit, or blow it, or whatever. And you don't want to do that. Not with 2 pounds of C4 looking at, or some of this stuff you'll see later. Some of them cratering charges, I ain't going down there. So we just double prime for safety. Any questions on how we build it? Real simple. One of the easier ones around. Anybody else?
You just take your tool and just poke it right
Yep,
through the
that's what I
middle.
do. Just jab a hole in. Yep, that one end that's starting to reach up here, I got one. Back to one end. This end here, yeah, just jab it in. That's a fact. Yeah, you can dig a hole in the ground will hold, it's wet or whatever, and it'll form for you and stay. You can build it right like that, right off the ground.
Well,
Exactly. Like again, man, your mind's limited. Think about it. Anybody else? Any other questions? Yeah.
You do well with certain rocks. Just take the C4 and slap it on the side of the rock. Change the direction you want to go. And pull the point of the rock and then the fragment.
Might very well do that. Yep. That's right. Anybody else? Okay. That's it. One of them little packs C4, 2 pounds. This one.
Okay, man, now that the dog and pony show is over with, we can get down to business.
If y'all are curious, that was Department of the Army's budget. Just trying to see if we're spending money on you troops, what we're teaching you out here is worthwhile.
Trust me, after today, you'll think it's worthwhile.
This is probably the best demo you'll ever see or
Good
ever
shit.
will see.
Okay, next charge we're going to teach is platter charge. Men, the most difficult charge in the Army. Alright? Most people don't like doing them because they don't think it's going to be very neat out on the range. But guaranteed, man, these babies are the most fun of any of them. Alright? Now they gave me this one because it is the hardest one out here.
Oh man!
Okay? Trust me,
Someone tag him on
this is
his
the
deck.
hardest one out here. You know, Sergeant LaRue couldn't handle this. Okay? First things you need for a platter charge are what? See, you got to know that you need a platter. That's what I'm telling you, man. You got to be smart. Okay? But it has to be of a certain type of material. Okay? What is it? Steel. Any type of steel?
Hardened steel.
Cold rolled steel is the best. Regardless of what gauge, as long as it's cold rolled. Okay? If you've got case hardened steel or any kind of cast iron,
How can we tell the difference on the cold blue steel?
just by looking at them. Okay? Your bayonet,
Cold blue
okay?
steel.
And then you got this. They're a little different if you look at them. A bayonet is case hardened. Alright? That's a hardened steel. This is cold rolled. Alright? The color of them, yeah, that's exactly right. Cold rolled steel is more flexible than a case hardened steel. And if you use a case hardened steel and you try and make a platter charge out of it, in essence what you're going to make is exactly what Sergeant Mathis just got done telling you. Okay? And that's what will happen. When you fix your charge up, set it off, it'll just blow your platter all to hell and send out shrapnel down range. Okay? So the steel is the most important part of this charge. Now, the reason I told you this is the most difficult charge to make is the calculations you got to make for C4 as to your platter. Okay? Men, be advised, you can use dynamite, you can use TNT, but C4 is the best one to use because of its high velocity explosion. Okay, TNT is a little bit less, and dynamite is even smaller yet as far as the velocity of explosion. But the calculation, man, the most difficult part, 1 to 1. Okay, I told you this, that's why I'm teaching. 1 to 1. Okay, 1 to 1. Your platter has to be the same weight as your charge. Okay, if you go over, men, you will not get the results that you want out of this platter. Because again, you'll just blow your platter all to hell and you'll have another shrapnel shooting piece of shit going down range. Okay? What we are trying to do, making a platter charge, is make a blunt projectile. This platter, if set up right, will go down range straight. Okay? Now you can, that's pretty nice, huh? That takes somebody's head off pretty good. Okay? That's what you want. This has a maximum effective range of 35 meters. It's set up right, so you can see it goes quite a way. After 35 meters, the laws of nature begin to act on it, and your plate will start to spin. Okay? Regardless of which way. Okay? 1 to 1, explosive, and make sure you have case hard steel. Alright? Cold rolled steel, excuse me. Okay. Now, tamping. Has anybody talked about tamping yet? Sergeant Madsen did? Okay. When we go down range today, after we get these set up, we're going to use Mother Earth as our tamper. Okay? We'll set our platters right underneath one of those Jeeps, and you will not see the Jeep move, man. But the platter will go completely through the son of a bitch. Okay? That Jeep will not even tremble. The fucker will go right through it. Okay? I put one of these through 3.5 inches of steel. Alright? And it didn't even roll it down. Sergeant LaRue tried to make a shape charge to go through 1/4 inch of steel, and it didn't even dent it. Woo! Okay. So you can see that this charge is much better than
We'll see who has the most fun today.
Yeah, we will.
I have a Setline
Does that
tank.
kind of work like a
I got one too.
Oh, do you?
kind of
Yeah.
tank mine?
Exactly. It's excellent for an anti-tank mine. Excellent. Okay, setting it out in the road. Wait for the tank to come over. Where's the most vulnerable part on a tank? The belly. Guaranteed this will go through it. And once it goes through it, what's it turn into? It can turn into shrapnel, but it's still hot, and this son of a bitch will bounce off the walls of that thing until it has everybody inside dead. Okay? And then you can get in the tank and drive it away. You know, because it will not damage the engine of the tank as long as you do it. Okay? It's a neat charge, man, and you'll see it once we get out there. It's a very neat charge. Okay, last class, put one through 1.5 inches of steel, then through the side of a Jeep, and it lodged in the other side. The plate was about this big at the end of it. Okay, once it got through all the Jeep and through the 1.5 inches of steel. We pulled the plate out of the Jeep. It's all still intact. Very neat charge. Okay? Now, once you get your explosive on the back of your platter, very important to place your blasting cap directly in the center. Okay? Directly in the center of your platter. Now, reason for this, when your blasting cap explodes, it ignites your C4, correct? As long as it's in the center, it will ignite it all equally and send the projectile straight down range. Now, if it's off to one side, common sense tells you it's going to start going like this, right? And we don't want that. We want the thing to go straight. We want as big a hole as we can possibly make it. Okay? What else can these be used for? Anybody? How about fuel storage dumps? Oh man, I tell you, generators. You can do this or use this for just about anything that your mind can come up with. Okay? And as far as platters go, when you're out in the battlefield, your mind is the limit. Okay? As long as you get the right type of steel. If you get anything cast, you're going to actually set up a field expedient claymore. Okay, question?
Would you use a piece that large for like an anti-tank?
Okay, we're going to experiment with a piece this big. Alright? What you guys will be using are
Oh
pieces
yeah,
this
show them
size.
big stuff, then break their heart. Make them
They're making the big ones for the finale when they blow the shit out of that thing. Okay, what you'll be using on the Jeeps are these because they're very effective. Alright, set one underneath the gas tank. Oh, that's great, man. Okay, so this is what you'll be using. I don't know what this big one will do. Okay, we're going to experiment with it today. Hopefully it will stay together, but I got a feeling that it might just bend it. And it'll still go down range correctly, but the whole plate might deform itself and you won't get the hole you want. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, when using a splatter charge, for best results, you want that splatter to reach a certain velocity before it impacts that
Okay,
weapon?
standoff. Yes, you do want at least 10 feet of standoff, if you can get it. Okay, like under these Jeeps, the metal is so thin that 2 or 3 feet is more than enough. Okay, but in actuality, hopefully we can get 10 feet of standoff on this big one before we try and slam it through that. Okay, now, field expedient sighting devices. And you're working with demolition, all of you will see these. Okay, M60 fuse igniter, simply take it apart. Take everything out of it. Okay, on the top here, just gotta bend this little motherfucker here. Punch it all down through. Get your charge all made up. Tape it right on top. Okay, got a sighting device. Wherever you look, it's going to go. Okay, and you can use this for starting Matsons. Starting the Rouge you can't because it's such a simple one. You don't have to do nothing with that. Okay, but this does work very well for a field expedient fire or sighting device. Okay, regardless of which way you put it on there. Alright, tape it to the top, make sure it's level before you go down range. Set it up, aim it, and shoot it. Okay? Any other questions? Yes, when you place the C4 on the back of the metal, okay, the C4 has to be equally distributed across the whole piece of metal, okay? So what does it look like? It's a deep pan pizza on top of a piece of metal, okay? Equally distributed all the way around, alright? If you get a cone in it, what's going to happen? Probably punch a hole through your plater, okay? Through your plate. So you want to make sure it's all nice and equal. Alright, and these are we going to double prime everything? These will not be double primed. Okay, I've never had one this far yet. Alright, any other questions? Whoever's with me, have a good time.
Yes, Graham, on your diagram down here, what's going around the outside there? Is that also C4?
No, okay. On the diagram, this part right up here
Yes, sir.
is actually what they used was something like a can. Okay, a big can that you could put your C4 in. This is one of them book things, you know, some guy said, well, yeah, I see plates of metal made into cans all the time. Yeah, that's what we use. So that's why they made that diagram like that. You never see something like that. You can do that. You can do that, okay? Today, what we're going to do is once you get your C4 on there, we'll use 100 mile an hour tape and just tape it on, okay? Entirely around it, all right? I've heard people put hooks on top of them, hook them to fences, and fire them through, okay? If they want to hit a fuel storage bin or something, the big tanks, okay? People have shot them through locomotives. They're an excellent charge, okay? And they're easy and readily available because you always got C4 on you, right? Carrying claymores, right? You got C4. All you got to do is find yourself a little plate, and you're good to go. Any other questions?
How much C4 is in a claymore?
About 1.5 pounds. They're about. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Sounds root. Now for the
Get
weak
this
charge.
shit
The weak charge.
out of the area. We just gotta work some big shit.
You notice you had to get that from the Army. He couldn't do it himself.
We're gonna get to the south stuff. Did you all hear about Sergeant Graham and his little boy and the perfect penis? You heard that before?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Well, you that have, shut the fuck up.
True story.
Sergeant Graham's got this, well, he's got two sons, as a matter of fact, but he's got one that's about 5 years old. His name is Nate. Alright? Y'all know how macho Sergeant Graham is. He thinks he's a big stud and everything. Well, his little boy was at preschool, this was about a month ago, and the guys were talking there in the little bathroom they have, and the word penis came up. None of the little boys knew what a penis was. Alright? So Nate, him and Sergeant Graham have a real good relationship. They can talk to each other. Nate says, don't worry, guys, I will find out. So he goes home that night. Kevin was out working behind the house, mowing a lawn or something. He saw Nate over there, kind of had his head low. He went over and talked to him. And Nate says to him, Dad, I got a problem. I don't know what a penis is. Well, Sergeant Graham, being the stud that he is, he's got nothing but one way to show his kid, and that's by actually showing him. So he takes him out behind the barn there, and he whips out his cock,